What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? DSP here, and welcome to the State of the Stream podcast for 2020. Today is actually January 16th, 2020, and I have not done a podcast-style show like this in a long time. Remember, I used to do shows like this all the time, but then when I became a full-time streamer, it just became about me talking to you guys during gameplay streams and the like, and so I never really took the time to continue doing shows like this. I like doing shows like this because it feels like I'm just sitting here talking directly to you. It's not about gameplay or anything like that. It's more about me relaying information, having a discussion with you about stuff and the way things have been going. And that's really what the point of this stream is. State of the stream means just that. I'm going to tell you guys how things have been going with the streaming over all of 2019, currently right now, and my plans for the future, 2020 and beyond. In addition, I want to reveal some stuff that's been going on behind the scenes for a long time that's been influencing stuff with the streams and the like that I know you guys would be interested in knowing. Some of you maybe not so. You know, there's some people who all you guys care about is coming to the daily streams and having fun and unwinding, and that's cool. And if that's the case, and that's all you care about, being quite honest with you, you may not care about my recap of how I felt 2019 went or how 2020 is going to go. Maybe all you care about is what games I'm going to be playing. And if that's the case, this stream is actually going to have 3 segments. All right, the first segment's going to be a recap of 2019, how stuff went, both personally and professionally for me in 2019, talking about all of that. The second segment's going to be about talking about personal stuff that's been going on behind the scenes that I feel that you guys should know about and hear it straight from me rather than hearing it from other sources or third parties who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I feel like you should hear it right from the horse's mouth so you know exactly what's going on with me. And then the third segment's going to be the future. It's going to be about, here's what's coming up in 2020, here's the game release schedule and everything. That's probably the segment you're interested in if you don't care about any of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and it's perfectly fine if that's all you care about. If you're here on the stream live, there's not much I could do about that. You got to wait for the other segments to pass, but if you're watching on YouTube, what I'm actually probably going to do is separate this podcast into parts, all right, based on each segment of what we're talking about. And so, you know, I'll make sure to make it kind of separate so that if you just want to watch that one part and that's all you care about, you can. You don't have to hear about all the other stuff, okay? So that's how I'm treating this podcast. Now, also, this is a live stream, which means, as you can see, during the course of the stream, you're going to see contributions coming in, and you're probably going to be seeing insulting things, and you're going to be seeing other things popping up. It's a live stream. That's the nature of the beast, right? It is what it is. What I'm going to be doing is screening the stuff that comes in, and if there's something that's pertinent to maybe what I'm saying or talking about during that segment of the podcast, I'll address it. If not, I'm going to save shout-outs for in between the segments. So, for example, this first segment, when I start talking about 2019 and all that, if a bunch of contributions come in with questions and the like, what I'll probably do is I'll probably save it for in between so that, you know, it's not about 2019, or wait, and then at the end of the 2019 segment, I'll sit here for a few minutes and give shout outs to everyone who's contributed and everything, okay? Good stuff? All right, what's up, Moonwalkman? It's good to see you today. It's good to see you, Darkside Chris. So a troll took me $5 and insults my wife. Wow, amazing. Am I going to address that? Fuck no. But Kowsey X took me $5, said I was playing Street Fighter with you last week. Didn't realize it was really you at first. I'm new to classic Street Fighter like Super Turbo. You handily kicked my ass. Felt good to beat that laggy Q player in Third Strike, though. Maybe I'll catch you again for the run back. All right, sounds good. Thank you, Kowsey X. You're actually the top chipper of the day. We'll get that up before we start talking about what I have to talk about. Okay? By the way, I should bring this up, guys. The real reason I'm doing this is because people have expressed the desire for me periodically to do a podcast like this because they can't attend every stream. And the truth of the matter is, if you watch every single daytime stream that I do, every daily stream, I have a pre-stream segment that gets you caught up on everything going on with me. If you want to know what I'm doing on streams, at night I put out a new schedule update every night, so you would know there what I'm up to, right? But the truth of the matter is that many people don't have time to be on every stream, and they would like to cumulatively know what's been going on over a period of time rather than having to tune into a bunch of pre-stream segments and try to figure it out for themselves. So that's why I'm doing this. If you guys like this and you want to see this continue, I would consider doing this maybe like once a quarter. So, I'm doing it in January. Maybe I'll do it in like April or May. And then maybe I'll do it again like right at the mid to end summer. And then one, again at the end of the year or January. That's kind of how I'm thinking. Because it seems to me like, people want to hear from me, but they don't want to watch every pre-stream. You see what I mean? If you're hanging out on every stream, that's great. Awesome. You're already probably in the know on most of the stuff I'm going to talk about today, except for one or two things. But most people aren't. So that's the whole purpose of this show, okay? That douche kid just did 100-bit cheers. I haven't been able to tune in. I've been in a bit. I've been keeping up with you on YouTube. I'll try to make more live streams. Hope all is well with you and Kat. Thank you, that douche kid, for the contribution. All right. Let's begin, shall we? So first of all, the first thing that I want to talk about on this show is I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for this last year really being, for me, a critical year where I felt that things were incredibly positive, all right? Unlike previous years of me being a content creator where, yes, there were ups and downs, highs and lows, I really feel that overall, if you look at the entirety of 2019 as a whole, this was an insanely positive year for me. And for us, people who share every day on a stream. In general, I'm finding that public opinion on me and my streams is actually going up rather than just going like this or going down, which has had in previous years. Instead, people are kind of realizing maybe the years and years of shit that's been said about Phil is kind of over-exaggerating. And yes, the guy is flawed and certainly isn't perfect and has a lot of things that he's said and done over the years that may be wrong or agitate people, but maybe he's not the devil either, and maybe we've kind of overdone it a little bit. Phil's a funny guy to laugh at, but maybe we shouldn't utterly try to defame him and destroy his whole life because we want to get a laugh out of it, right? And I definitely saw a lot of things in 2019 that kind of, I don't want to say they tipped the scale, but really, like, people seeing me in a different light than they normally had. There were more people than ever before coming to my streams and saying, wow, I've heard so many negative things about you, but watching your stream, nothing like that happened on the stream. I don't understand why people say that all the time, and I'm a new fan. And a lot of people seem to be like that. And the truth of the matter is, the streams are actually healthier than ever. If you actually take a look, our overall subscription count is very healthy. This time last year, 2 years ago, it was way lower. So overall, subs are really doing well. That's actually signs of a healthy channel when you can have a consistently higher sub count, and that's good. Contributions on streams are great. All right, I seriously cannot complain in any way, shape, or form. You guys are contributing on streams, above and beyond what I can ask for, and it's amazing because you guys are keeping me going. You're invigorating me every day, telling me how great the content is and that you want to see it continue. Streams have been amazing in 2019, and just think of all the cool things, all right, that we did in 2019. I actually made a huge list of all the awesome things that were positives in 2019. First of all, I went the entire year and had 0 issues with Twitch. And what I mean by that is never once did Twitch contact me in 2019 and say, Phil, you did something wrong. You violated the rules. You're in trouble now. Nothing. 0. I heard not a peep out of Twitch the whole year in regards to stuff like that. The only time that I was contacted by Twitch was for positive stuff. Oh, here's an opportunity. Here's a new feature that we're doing. That's amazing. That's exactly how I want it. And it's hilarious that there's so many people on the internet that would say that, oh, I'm such a bad streamer, I'm a toxic streamer. But Twitch, I'm perfectly good with, in regards to Twitch. I'm abiding by all the rules. I've never had a negative thing go on the entire year. So that's just a major positive thing for me. I had some issues in the past becoming a full-time streamer with the rules and everything. I don't want that stuff creeping up. And what I'm doing is good. In the eyes of Twitch, what I'm doing is good. In your eyes, obviously, what I'm doing is good. So that's a really major positive. In 2019, we adopted more chill content than ever before. What I mean by chill content is not necessarily a major new game playthrough where I have to finish the game in a certain amount of time and I'm trying to wrap up a story, but instead streams that in general are just meant to be fun. Whether you're thinking, oh, late night throwback streams of Street Fighter. They're rage-inducing, but they're fun to see me play classic Street Fighter, which is my forte. It's what I grew up playing. How about a playthrough like Minecraft, where the entire year, about once a week, we went into the world of Minecraft for a couple of hours, and all the huge, awesome things that I did over the course of 2019. Building this giant, robust kind of home base with a big building with multiple rooms, a giant lighthouse, a big jungle tree, a farm, big water sculptures, a giant barn with animals, a nether portal, a fishing dock, all the stuff that I built at that main home base. and then branching out from that, finding a village when they did the villager update, right? Being able to find a village with a robust amount of villagers in there that are doing jobs and protecting that village, building lookouts and safe ways for them to get around and not get attacked, defending that village from invasions and illagers. Improving the village, branching out from just being in that village, but looking all around for resources, the statues and things that we built, like the statue of Jasper, this giant bird statue, the cool stuff I've done in Minecraft in the last year. And if it wasn't for us opening up and adopting this new style of content and new style of streaming, none of that would have happened. It would have been like, that's boring content, that's just crap. No, instead, streams now can be a combination of us hanging out and having fun and gameplay. I mean, let's face it, Battle Royale is not riveting stuff. But Battle Royale, when it's an interactive stream, like how I played so much Black Ops 4 Blackout in 2019, and those streams end up becoming some of the best of the week because it was my chance to talk with you guys and have fun and address issues and talk about hot topics, and yes, sometimes address detractor issues and shit like that too. But it was really a way for us to interact and have a dialogue while I was playing something that was kind of like the white noise behind it, and that's what Battle Royale ended up being for all of 2019 for me. So that kind of content becoming a major focus of my content. Daytime streams being more dedicated towards serious gameplay throughs, but nighttime streams being more relaxed and fun stuff where we can interact a lot more. I really felt struck a perfect balance in 2019 that I want to keep going in 2020 because I really feel that was one of the strengths of the year. Okay. More interactive ways with my streaming, more ways for us to interact. In particular, for example, top contributor of a stream gets something, right? Top contributor of the Minecraft stream gets to pick a new project we're going to work on next week. Top contributor of the Pokemon stream gets to name a Pokemon. Integrating the channel points. I was really pleased that Twitch chose me as one of the people to early adopt the channel point system in 2019. This allowed me to have more interaction with you guys than other streamers. People were earning these penne points, as I termed them, jumping on a silly meme. And basically allowed me to have people do cool things on streams, like have a highlighted message or use an emote that you couldn't use or edit an emote. Remember all the cool edited holiday emotes? Everyone used the emote to put reindeer antlers and a nose on it and all of that stuff, right? That was really neat. But also now, finding a way to integrate those penne points into my streams. When I play Street Fighter, you guys pick 3 or 4 characters for me to use during the Street Fighter stream. When I play Pokemon, you pick 3 Pokemon to be in my party. And I really like that interaction that we now have. It's not just about me playing a game and talking, but now you guys can actually find a way to definitively form the content that's going to happen during that particular session. I like that. I would like to certainly find new ways to integrate that into future playthroughs. It's all going to depend on the game, really. But I think that that's a really neat thing that we did, in the year of 2019. Oh, marathons. All the marathons that I did in 2019, in my opinion, now you could completely disagree, and that's okay. In my opinion, the marathon style stuff that I did in 2019 was some of, if not the most successful I've ever done. When you really think back at all the marathons that I did, the retrospective marathons were all super fun, and we did a wide variety of stuff in those, including vlogs, gameplay, reviews, etc. We really went over like the history of me being a content creator, and that was really neat. But then the themed marathons, like the Rageathon during the summer, a lot of people were like, it didn't cause much rage. But the games that I played during the Rageathon end up becoming better content. Like, for example, I know I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Morrowind. I already said let's play Morrowind. I have it on the Xbox One now, and it's going to end up being a chill playthrough that I know I'm going to be doing in the future, right? The Halloween Marathon, one of the best ones I've done. Yes, some of the games were duds, but games like Luigi's Mansion 3, that was great, and it ended up becoming a full playthrough afterward. The Christmas Marathon, since I didn't make it Christmas themed this year, ended up being a bunch of games that you guys absolutely loved. And now I'm doing a full playthrough of Knights of the Old Republic. See? So I think that the marathons in 2019 actually productively became events that turned into other things that were great for the future. In previous years, not so much. A lot of the times we do a marathon and it just ends up being, the games people voted were boring or whatever. And I think this last year, it was kind of the opposite. Where really, the games that I played in the marathons turned out to be other things that I could do in the future that people really wanted to see. So that was a great thing. And in general, the vibe around the marathons was really good too. Sometimes I'll do a marathon, and if people aren't invigorated or find it boring, I kind of like, man, this is deflating. It was kind of the opposite in 2019. Whenever I did a marathon, people really came out and were excited for the content, and it really turned out to be really fun stuff. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, of course. Now, how could I possibly not bring this up? My cat Jasper was finally introduced to the streams. Now, admittedly, is Jasper a constant? Absolutely not. And a lot of times, I want to have the door closed, in particular, daytime streams. My wife is home. Cat is out there spending time with Jasper. I don't want the door open because Jasper will be running in and out of the office. Plus, during the daytime, my voice carries through this house when I stream. If I have the door open, my wife will just hear my voice booming and echoing through the house all day. She'll never get any peace. So the daytime streams, Jasper usually doesn't come. But at nighttime, you know, especially when my wife is at work, I leave the door open. Sometimes Jasper attends, sometimes he doesn't. It's up to him. I'm not going to force my cat to come into the office. But the few times he comes in are pretty hilarious. You remember one of the first things he did when I was playing Street Fighter, he jumped up on my keyboard and hit a button that jump scared everyone, right? And every once in a while he'll come in and interact, and it's funny when I'm playing Street Fighter. One day he came in and he started hitting the buttons when I was playing. Like, what are you doing? He's actually trying to play Street Fighter as I'm playing it, right? But the reason I think it's really cool, he'll come in when he wants, and it's a special thing when he's here. If he were here on every stream, it wouldn't matter. But the fact that every once in a while he'll wander in and have some fun on the streams is pretty neat, and I think people really like that. So introducing him to the content, being able to show you some pictures of him every once in a while, and of course talking about my experiences as a cat owner now for the first time, have really become something interesting and new for my streams in 2019. So obviously that's going to continue. For me, this is more of a personal thing for me rather than for you guys, all right? But my stream profitability this year, or last year, was the best it's ever been. By far, 2019 was the best streaming year I've ever had. Keep in mind, I wasn't really a full-time streamer until 2017, so really I only have 2 other years to compare it to. But the disparity between what I make on Twitch and what I make on YouTube, for the first time ever, was like, boop, on Twitch. It was almost 100% focused on Twitch because that was really where everything was coming from. And again, I want to say thank you guys. You know, 2019, you guys helped me out tremendously in more ways than one. Multiple times there were issues where I needed to raise funds really quickly, and you guys helped me out with that, and I appreciate that. You know, you guys now knowing that streaming is really my primary source of income, and knowing that when I'm in a bind, it's really the only way that can help. I appreciate that you guys come out and help me whenever this stuff happens. I don't like having these weird-ass things happen that suck, okay? I really don't. I really don't like the fact that sometimes crappy stuff happens and it derails what we're doing. And then next thing you know, oh, Phil has to do a special marathon stream because he needs to raise money in a short period of time or whatever. That really sucks. I agree with you there. I don't like that stuff happening. But you guys were there every time I needed help, you know. And like I said, for the first year ever, you know, at one point it was like YouTube was way up here and streaming was way down here. Then it was like YouTube was here and streaming was here. Then for like a year or two, it was like they were equal. This year was like, boop, completely flipped where it was all about Twitch. And that's why you see me focusing primarily being a full-time streamer. People constantly ask me, will you ever go back to DSP Tries It? Will you ever go back to edited series? No. Twitch is what I am now. I'm a full-time streamer. Twitch is the future for me by far. And I need to stay focused on what's working and what people want to see and not worry about the past on YouTube, you know? So there you go. Now, all the stuff I just mentioned were great positives for the year of 2019. All right. And for you guys, probably everything that I just mentioned were the main focus positives for you guys, and you loved all of that. For me, the stuff that you guys don't see behind the scenes is amazingly positive. And what I mean by that is my personal life right now is an all-time high. You know, 2019 was a very important year for me because I knew that I was going to have to make sacrifices to do very important things at a time when I could do them. In particular, getting married. Like, I saw it, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this on the podcast about how stuff happened in 2019 and how it came to be, because I didn't really in detail go into a lot of that stuff as it was happening. But to be able to get married to someone who is the love of my life, to someone who has amazingly changed my life in such a humongous positive way, such a positive, constant positive reinforcement, constant positive love and affection and feeling of support, something that I've never had my whole life. And now having that, like I said, my personal life is now amazingly positive. Any time that I get to spend with Kat is amazing to me. And the thing is, do we get to spend a ton of time together? No. We have one day a week that we spend together, the whole day, which is very special to us. Okay. And in addition to that, sometimes at nights we get to spend some time. It really depends on if Kat's working or not. Like, in particular, today she's not working. That means that when I'm not streaming today, I actually get to spend time with my wife. When she's working, I don't barely get to see her that entire day, okay? And I realize, listen, that's how most couples have it. I understand that in the United States of America, everyone's got to work their butt off, and this is how most people have it. I actually might have it better than most other people because maybe some people don't get that one day to actually spend with their spouse, right? But the fact that I was able to marry the woman who I care more about than anyone else on this planet, and we now have an amazing, robust life together behind the scenes of all the streams and everything that I publicly put out there is amazing. The fact that we've been able to keep our life private is amazing. Like, I'm telling you, we have so much fun together and we have all these things, but I'm happy we keep it private. Being someone who at one point in my life was 100% public with all of you, okay? And essentially my entire life was right there, public, on display, smack dab, everything. I would vlog everything in my house, everything in my condo. I would show you every little thing, and then everyone would fucking micro-analyze everything I would put in every stream and video to try to figure out what's the value of this, and what did he spend on this, and what's this, and what's that. And those days are over. Thank God those days are over. I learned from the past, and now it's like I can just have a fun life with my wife outside of the realm of the public eye, and that's what I want, And again, it's been amazing. Like, people keep asking me, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm great. Like, yes, there's a lot of problems going on in my life right now, which is some of the things we're going to discuss in this podcast, okay? That's one of the big reveals of this podcast. I'm going to tell you actually what's going on behind the scenes. That's been the negative stuff that's been screwing with me in the last year. But outside of that crap, when I can just kind of forget about it and push that crap to the side, the life that I have with my wife is so good. And I'm so happy. People say, well, are you happier now or 10 years ago? Now. I never imagined that I would have the life that I have now. So, yeah, I'm just super happy. For me, and this is being very, very upfront and truthful with all of you, marriage has been nothing but a positive. And if I could just keep the life I have now for the rest of my life, I would be perfectly satisfied. Now, I know that's probably not feasible, because how long are people going to watch someone be a live streamer? And it is what it is. I'm going to get older. I'm not going to be relevant anymore. And I realize that at some point in my life, I'm going to have to find a way to convert over to something else, which again, another topic we're going to talk about in this very podcast. Okay. But for where I am right now, the way I see it, everything is great. I come to stream every day. I put out fun, entertaining, interactive streams with you guys. We have a good time together no matter what game it is that I'm playing. And things are good in that regard. Then I get to spend time with my wife outside of stream. We have a ton of fun with our life outside of streams. You know what I mean? Like, it's like positive, positive, positive. I've never felt this way before. Like, 2019 was such an amazing year for me, and I want it to keep going. I want to keep that vibe going in 2020. So that's how things are going, positively for me in 2019. And I want you guys to understand how grateful I am that you guys helped make it happen. All right. Yes, a ginormous chunk of this is due to my wife. I'm certainly not taking any credit away from her. She's so amazing. She's super supportive, and everything in my private life is amazing because of her. But as for the streams, you guys really made 2019 a super positive year for me. One of the best years of my life. I would say out of all the years that I was a content creator, there are 2 years that stand out for me. 2011, because that was the year when I started doing YouTube full-time as a job, and it was like my whole life flipped on its head. Oh my God, I don't have to work for a company anymore. I don't have a boss yelling at me and basically not valuing me and treating me like a number on a spreadsheet or a cog in a wheel, rather than caring about who I actually am as a person or what my potential is. I have my own business now. I can actually do stuff for myself and be creative. Like, that was an amazing year for me because my life changed forever. But 2019 was the year where, like, everything kind of went to maximum positivity, and I loved what I was doing on a daily basis 100%. I loved my private life. Like, everything was perfect, and I wanted to stay that way. Okay? So there you go. Now, as with life, ladies and gentlemen, with the positive, you also got to take the negative. So we're going to talk a little bit about the negative stuff. But before we do that, we got some shout-outs to do. Boss Hog did a 50-bit cheer and says, why don't you do team sessions in Battle Royale games like PUBG with the subs? Because I don't care about that. The point of the interactive stream is to interact with the viewer. If I'm caring about team-based gameplay, I can't interact with the viewer because I can't focus on them. I'll give you a perfect example of this, Boss Hog. I did play Apex Legends when it launched, and I played it for about a month and a half, 2 months, with a team of players. You know, Kekken and Brian joined me for that. We did very well. We won multiple matches together and had fun. But every single time I did those streams, I couldn't interact with my viewers because I was constantly interacting with the teammates and doing teamwork. Ultimately, the feedback I got from my viewers was those streams weren't great because we want more interactivity from you. And when you're focused on someone else, you're not focusing on us. We disconnect. So I stopped playing Apex, and instead I did solo Battle Royale with Black Ops 4 Blackout, and I got way more positive feedback in regards to that than I ever did for Apex. And that's why I don't do it, okay? Fats tipped me $100. Holy crap, thank you, Fats. He says, hope 2020 turns out well for you. I appreciate that, Fats. That is super generous of you. That propels us way past our tips goal for the stream. And I really doubt anyone's going to top that one. Thank you, Fats. Thank you. Sincerely, thank you. That's going to pay for Dragon Ball overnight here. Google USS Liberty. It looks like some kind of conspiracy theorist. Timmy $5 and says, is it true you're the 33rd degree Elder Freemason? Yes, I am inducted into the House of Freemasons. No, I'm not. This guy's a weirdo conspiracy theorist, but thank you for the $5 tip. Boss Hog cheered again and says, your biggest problem with doing house tours is people wondering how much you spent on something. That was part of it. Like, no lie. How insane is this? I'm walking through my house. Oh, here's our kitchen or whatever. Oh my God. Look at that coffee maker. That looks expensive. Then someone would look on Amazon. That coffee maker sells for $500 on Amazon, man. The truth of the matter is the coffee maker's 5 years old. I bought it when it was new years ago, and it sold for like $150 or something like that. That's a coffee maker I had since I was back in Connecticut, okay? The reason that coffee maker's $500 on fucking Amazon is because it's outdated, out of print. You can't buy it anymore, and people liked that model, so like there's a few left, and people are selling them for exorbitant prices. But this is what people would do, and then they would post it. Phil says that he's in financial straits, but he has a $500 coffee maker in his house. So you're like, what the fuck is going on with these weirdos? You know, and so insanity, the stuff that they do. Absolute stupidity and insanity. So, you know, for me, it stopped being fun. It did. It actually stopped being fun doing those kind of videos because people would be so gross with the stuff that they would say. And of course, you know, showing stuff around oh, look at this, you know, everyone has something negative to say because they're dickheads, rather than understanding that here's someone opening their life to share it with you and have some kind of like a connection with you. And instead you're just going to be dick about it, right? So that's why I stopped. You know, it's been a while. I'm not doing those ever again. You know, that was something that I did in my past when I was a YouTuber and I cared about YouTube content. I don't anymore. I'm about streaming, and I'm not going to be doing those kind of things anymore because they've been nothing but toxic when I've done them. You know, the past few times. So, okay. Thank you everyone for those contributions. I really do appreciate it. All right. So, you know, here we go. Well, $150 is still way too much for a coffee maker. Oh my God. Yes. Because, you know, I bought it when I lived in Connecticut at the height of my YouTube popularity. So I bought an expensive coffee maker at that point to drink coffee during streams. But somehow I'm in the wrong in 2019 for it, right? You know, literally. And by the way, the coffee maker that I got, that I haven't had for 3 years. And by the way, it's 2020, not 2019. I even lose the year. This is what I mean. This is the stupidity I put up with on a daily fucking basis. So why would I ever want to reveal anything from my house, right? Why? God forbid that they see a light socket that's like the $10 light socket instead of the $5 light socket or something. It's like, oh, fuck me. I've had enough of this shit, you know? All right. Let's go ahead and let's move on. Now, like I said, you got to take the good with the bad, all right? Let's talk about the bad. let's talk about some of the things in 2019 that kind of sucked for me, that I wish were better, and that I hope that hopefully we can turn around and improve in the future. But some of these things are out of my control, okay? The first thing, and this is one of the things that I only kind of brushed upon a few times during the course of the year, but I did mention, pretty heavily when it came to certain times, YouTube in particular, all right? YouTube for me, as I told you guys, is not my focus anymore. It's just an archive of my stream. So I don't care about, creative content for over there. I really don't care too much about any of the nonsense that happens. So when people say, oh, no, COPPA is happening, and this is happening, and that is happening, I'm kind of like, well, fuck it. Let it happen, because my focus is here on the streams. I don't, there's not much I can do about the YouTube shit that's going down. And I don't really care that much anymore. All I want to do is have a place to put my videos up where you guys can watch them later. I don't really care. I don't really care about YouTube revenue. But YouTube revenue was so bad in 2019 that it actually hurt me significantly and got me into a bad situation financially, all right? So as I was already talking about previously, it used to be YouTube was this much of my income and Twitch was this much of my income, all right? Then 2017, the YouTube adpocalypse hit. And I would say YouTube was about this much of my income and Twitch was about this much of my income. Then in 2018, things got a little worse and things kind of got about equal. In 2019, out of nowhere, it then went like this. So literally within a 3-year period, my income has completely flipped. And I would argue that my YouTube revenue went down so sharply, all right? Not to say my views went down sharply, because they didn't. My views gradually go down a little bit, but it wasn't like, boo! No. The views stayed about roughly the same, maybe a little lower, but the revenue went like down by insane exponential dip, okay? This hurt me tons, because that was revenue that I was counting on. And it got to the point where I got in a really, really bad, we're going to talk about this, by the way. This is coming up. The full details about all this is coming up. Where I couldn't afford anything anymore. I literally, even with the money I was making on the Twitch streams early on in 2019, I couldn't afford to pay my bills. I was like, there's no way I can keep stuff afloat anymore. With all the shit that I'm paying, all these crazy financial obligations that I have, shit that's just weighing down on me horribly, I can't pay any of it anymore. So essentially what I had to start doing in 2019, which is a horrible situation for anyone to be in, pick and choose what you're going to pay. I'm going to pay this and this and this because this is important. I'm going to pay this and this and this because if I don't pay those, I'll probably get screwed. These maybe aren't so bad, so I won't pay that. And then I'll see what happens if I don't pay this. You see, that's kind of how my life became because I had such a big dip in YouTube income in 2019. Now, you might say, well, what happened with YouTube? I have no idea. I didn't change my format. In fact, I made longer videos so that you guys would basically stop complaining that the videos were so short and they'd be more digestible for you. And it wasn't like this dip of income happened during the time frame when I changed the length of videos. On the contrary, I changed the length of my videos in the middle of 2018. I didn't see a big dip in YouTube revenue until the early 2019. So something happened behind the scenes at YouTube, not with me, and that screwed me over, okay? I don't know what it was. I really don't know what it was. But it is what it is. So because of that, I got into really bad financial trouble. And that's why a lot of times over the course of 2019, I came out and said, I really need help now, guys, because I'm in a situation where there's just no way I can afford something that I really need to pay that's important right now. And so you guys helped me out so much. Thank you for everyone who chipped in and helped me out during those situations. But that's one of the major reasons why that stuff happened. I always had this YouTube consistent income, and it just went away in 2019 to the point where now, do I still make money on YouTube? Yes. Is it anywhere significant to the point, like, if all that money went away overnight, I could probably find a way to make it up on streams. Like, no lie, if YouTube just blew up and destroyed itself and the business went out of business overnight, I could probably find another way to try to make up the amount of money because it's not a lot, you know? But it was just awful because it put me so bad. It put me so far behind the 8 ball, as they say, that I really couldn't catch up. 2019 was a year of, I'm screwed. I can't pay stuff. And now how can I ever catch up with all of it? And that's how it was kind of behind the scenes for me because of that. Okay? Okay. In addition, one thing that I was sincerely hoping would happen in 2019 never happened. I was hoping that eventually things would get a little bit better because I was being seen in a more positive light in general on the internet, that I would have some sponsorship opportunities open up for me, whether it would have been products, whether it would have been play a game and do a sponsored stream on Twitch again. None of that happened. I'm still 100% banned from the whole sponsored stream program on Twitch. I'm still not allowed to get any sponsorship opportunities whatsoever. Whenever a sponsor comes by, I explain to them, here's the situation. I have a group of trolls that harass the shit out of me. And chances are, if we have a sponsorship, they're going to harass you. They usually will do some research, look into it, and say, we don't want to touch your trolls with a 40-foot pole. And they turn me down for a sponsorship. Same thing with Twitch. Like, Twitch didn't have an issue having me do the sponsored streams in 2018 until the trolls attacked the shit out of the game publishers and game developers. And the game developers contacted Twitch and said, listen, not that it's Phil, he did a good stream promoting our game, but we can't have hundreds of dumb kids coming and attacking us and putting out nasty, disgusting stuff for 2 weeks straight just because Phil played our game. So therefore, we don't want, to have Phil playing our stuff in the sponsorship opportunities. Now, the thing is, these are giant money makers for most streamers. Most people who full-time stream rely on consistent income from sponsorship opportunities to keep stuff going. I get zero. Okay? I really was hoping that in 2019 this would change because, let's face it, more people coming to my streams, more consistent subs, people seeing me in a more positive light. There were many positive things that happened to me in 2019 when it came to me and my streaming persona and my business and all of that. Yet, the sponsorship thing never happened to the point where I don't think, at this point, I hate to be a defeatist. I do. I really, 100%, hate to be a defeatist and say it'll never happen, but I kind of feel like it's never going to happen. Like, for me, my life, because I have these really disgusting, obsessed, crazy people after me at all times, that no matter what I do, I will never be able to get the same opportunities as everybody else because they're never going to leave it alone. To them, this has become their agenda in life, and whenever they can do anything to just poke me and hurt me in a little way, they will. They know the sponsorship thing is a way that they've concretely hurt me in the past, and they're going to continue to do it no matter what. Even if right now there was a burning building and children were trapped at the top of the building, and I stormed into the building against my own, self-preservation kind of instinct, and I rushed in and got smoke inhalation and saved those 3 children and came out in blood, and I got sick and everything, and I couldn't stream for 6 months, and finally I came back to stream the hero who saved the children from the burning building, they would fucking try to fuck that stream up for me. Because that's how they are. It's not because they genuinely hate me. It's because up here they're obsessed to the point where they just don't care anymore. They know they can do some kind of a negative impact, so they'll just do it because they can. There's no end game for them. It's not like they want me off the internet. They just want to hurt me as much as they can because they want a segment right now where I talk about it. And now they get their, oh my God, they get their tinglies inside. Now they feel good because they feel like they actually had an impact on planet Earth, when in reality they're just insignificant little worms and no one likes them and they have horrible lives. And that's why they do disgusting things to people on the internet like that anyway. But I think that's kind of how I feel it is now. Like, these people are going to hurt me no matter what. So I will never have a sponsorship opportunity because now they've realized they can just attack any sponsor that comes my way, and that'll be the end of it. So that is one of the huge negatives of 2019 for me. I was really hoping, with all the positive vibes towards my streams and people kind of opening up and getting a little bit of a more positive attitude towards me in 2019, that things would change for the better with sponsorships, and that never happened at all. Okay? And continuing on with that whole mentality, or what I was just saying, that whole line of stuff, the slander continued in 2019, despite the fact that people outside of the toxic bubble of people who hate me were now seeing me in a positive light for the first time and actually looking down at it and saying, wow, you guys are really messed up. Like, for me, the real eye-opener here, this guy, the Quartering, who interviewed me in 2019, I knew nothing whatsoever about him. Zero. Zip. Had no previous knowledge of this guy. I saw he had made a video about me, and yes, I found out that this guy constantly jabs at me. He jumps on detractor memes and laughs at them or whatever. But certainly he's not a full-time dark side Phil hater. He doesn't spend a lot of time on me at all. He made a very fair video about people slandering me and saying it wasn't right. It was defamation. It's bullshit. This shouldn't happen. People shouldn't be trying to cancel Phil. This is so stupid. And because of that, I contacted him and we had a really nice interview. All right. After the interview aired, my trolls attacked him for basically saying, "Oh, you didn't attack and destroy Phil constantly during the interview. You didn't bring up all his personal shit and stuff. And what kind of interview was this?" And he's like, "Do you guys understand that when you actually say and do this stuff like this, you actually make Phil look good? Like, you're actually making me believe the things that Phil said, because you're acting exactly as he describes. You're really messed up people, and I can see how someone got into his position because you guys are always on his ass. So when you act like this, you make him the winner. Why don't you learn and leave him alone a little bit?" And they didn't. It was the complete opposite. They just kept going and going. And that's the thing. Like, even an outsider like him, right, who normally would just make fun of me, actually saw the reality of how bad it is with these people constantly harassing me. And when he was like, "Holy shit, like, that's really bad. These guys are fucking unfair and ridiculous." And that's kind of the outsiders. That's how they're kind of seeing this now. They look at that situation and they say, "Damn, Phil is being treated unfairly by these idiots." It's not like it used to be, where I was a giant popular YouTuber and people were taking a rib at me with "This is how you don't play," and laughing at a big YouTuber and saying, "Haha, he's really not very professional and he sucks," and blah, blah, blah. Now it's literally, let's just constantly attack Phil, make shit up, do defamatory stuff about him and his family, so that we can make just disgusting and toxic content, we can about him, to try to make popularity for ourselves, right? And the thing is, I want that to go away. I don't want that to continue forever. I want to come to a point where maybe my wife feels safe enough that she can come to a stream and she can sit down with me and we can have a fun stream with you guys, whether we're playing a game or we're just talking, and it's not constant disgusting attacks against her for no reason whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like, the truth of the matter is, and I've talked about this before, Kat was 100% happy to come on my streams in 2018. But then, during the Halloween stream, she went out of her way to buy a costume, to dress up for the event, to participate in the gameplay of the event. And as she sits down to do it, literally, it's just disgusting attack after disgusting attack on her in the stream chat, to the point where she got completely turned off and said, "I don't ever want to do this ever again." And it's been a year and a half, and she still has no desire to come back on the streams because of that. And that's awful. I was hoping maybe in 2019, if the general public is now seeing me in a more public light, maybe those shitheads who do negative stuff to me would calm down, and they didn't. Instead, they just ramped it up as much as they could. They kept being as nasty as they possibly could, right? And I don't think, at this point, that there's much I could do about it anymore. It's not like, it's definitely not like I'm doing things to constantly spark the ire of these people. I'm not doing anything that's underhanded. I'm not constantly insulting people. I'm not being toxic on stream. I have changed myself, or at least worked hard to change myself. I'm not perfect. There are days when I have bad days. I'm not feeling good. I'm down for a reason. I get really upset about something and I lash out at someone on stream, or I lash out at someone. It happens. And I apologize that I do that, and I apologize that I can't be better, or that I'm working to be better. But I know that these things happen. But that's not the reason why these people are attacking me. There's times when nothing's happening at all, and all of a sudden, let's do a negative, disgusting, defamatory attack against Phil or his wife or something else. And it's like, what the fuck is the point of all this, right? Like, I just don't understand it, because I'm not like that. I'm not. I'm a person who's very positive focused, and I want to focus on stuff that's productive and fun. I don't want to focus on tearing other people down constantly. Do I make fun of people every once in a while? Of course. I'm not above that. I even said it on pre-stream today. If you say, "Oh, well, the person who has not sinned cast the first stone," I would be the person who gets stoned immediately. A million stones will come and crush me into paste. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of doing the same thing that people do to me, but certainly not to the crazy ass capacity that people have done it to me. It's ludicrous how far these people go and the shit that they make up, based on half-truths and lies and oversimplifications or overgeneralizations. Instead of actually getting concrete evidence of anything, they present it as fact, and then idiots believe it. And it's hard, as someone who's a content creator with a public persona, how do I appeal to a new audience when it's like, here's my fun streams, come check them out. Oh, by the way, ignore all the disgusting, toxic shit that comes up in YouTube search about me on a daily basis because it's all defamatory stuff. I'm not rich. I can't sue those people to stop them. But I'm certainly not going to address any of this shit because then it just gives them more power and it derails my positive content. So what do? Nothing. All you can kind of do is just kind of sit there and ignore most of it. And every once in a while, if there's something I can absolutely concretely say, no, here's the evidence, they're full of shit, I can do that. But that's few and far between. Most of the time, they literally make shit up. How do you prove something is false that's literally made out of nowhere and there's no evidence that it exists or doesn't exist, right? It would be like this, okay? Phil has an elephant in his house, and the elephant eats so much that that's why Phil's in financial trouble. We figured it out, okay? All I can say is I don't have an elephant in my house. Here, I'll walk through my house and show you my house, and I walk through the house and I show you there's no elephant in the house, okay? Oh, well, Phil took the elephant outside when he was doing his walkthrough, so that's why you couldn't see it. By the way, while Phil was filming his house to prove he didn't have an elephant, we found 10 things about his house that we can now blow up for new overdramatic content. Do you see what I'm saying? Every time that I give time to those topics, all it does is give them more bullshit to fabricate. Nothing that I ever do will satisfy people like that. It doesn't matter what I say or do. They'll just either move the goalpost so it wasn't good enough, or, oh, Phil did disprove this, but now there's 10 more things that we can now come up with because he gave us some more stuff to work with. You see what I mean? So, yes, that's a ludicrous analogy of having an elephant in my house, but that's the point I'm making to you guys, is the slander's gotten to the point where there's no way for me to disprove it, because if I try to disprove it, they just do something else negative out of what I did. So there's no point in addressing it anymore. So I need you guys to understand that, at this point, there's so many ludicrous memes and things about me, I don't care anymore. I'm not going to be bringing them up and addressing them because there's no fucking point. There's really not. Like, there's no point in me even giving a minute to the crap that people say about me because it's so horseshit, okay? And I know that there's absolutely no way that I would ever convince those people that the stuff was false anyway. No matter what I do, they'll just say something else bad anyway. So there's no point in it, okay? So that's why, that's the attitude I have now. But it sucks because the slander got so bad in 2019 that, like, every moment there was something new to the point where it's laughable. It's like outsiders to the nonsense looked in and said, there's no fucking possible way that this shit could be true. The stuff that people are saying about Phil constantly, there's no way that all of it could be true. We know as an outsider with a logical frame of mind that none of this can be true. It's ludicrous. But it still continued. And it's like, how long will this go? I don't want to have a life where my whole life is a fucking joke on the internet because these shitheads won't give up. All I want to do is play games and have fun, and it's hard to do that when every day it's something new and disgusting. Okay? All right, and then last thing that was really bad and negative for me in 2019 was the finances. I already kind of touched upon this with the YouTube thing, but essentially behind the scenes, the crap hit the fan, okay? And it all kind of culminated earlier on in the year in 2019 when the YouTube thing happened and I had to make some really tough decisions. And based on those decisions, I went to Connecticut and met my parents and had a really serious discussion with them and came to a few conclusions. That's kind of the truth of the matter is, like, this was one of the moments of my life where I had to throw in the towel. I was like, for years and years, I've had problems with finances. I'd say probably ever since like mid 2015, 2016, which is when the trolling actions of the false copyright strikes against my YouTube channel halved my income. Okay. When that happened, things got bad financially, and I always tried to find a way. Maybe I can do this as a Band-Aid. Maybe I could put a cork in this leak over here. Maybe I can juggle this around and juggle that. Maybe I can borrow from Peter to pay Paul. Oh shit, now I owe Paul. Maybe I'll borrow from Mary to pay Paul, but now Peter says that I'm overdue on the payment to him. You see what I mean? Like, that's how my life has been for years and years. And it just finally hit the culmination last year, where it was like, I can't do it anymore. There's no way I could do it, and all the bandages broke. Let's put it that way. All of the bandages snapped, and the water came tumbling in, and I had to basically do something to stay afloat. because there was no way I was going to be able to survive with my head under the water the way that it was. And that sucked because up until 2019, I always had this positive attitude. I can do it. I can find a way to turn it around. Maybe my streams will blow up in a way where I'll make more money. Maybe YouTube will somehow fix itself and I'll be able to fix this financial situation. Maybe some kind of a godsend or something will come my way. And by the way, just for full clarification purposes, there were things along the way that basically kept me going, but those things can't constantly happen. I'll give you a perfect example. In late 2018, someone by the name of Emerald7, who we still don't know who this is to this day, came into my streams and gifted me an insane amount of tier 3 subscriptions. This amounted to a ridiculous amount of money, okay, which I received in early 2019. And it's the only reason that I was able to get through the first few months of 2019 with the way that YouTube ad revenue tanked. It's the only reason I was able to keep going in 2019 was because of that guy being so generous. If the things with YouTube hadn't happened, I actually probably would have been in a good position in 2019. I would have been like, wow, because of that added funds, now I can do this and this. But it was like, I made this extra money. Oh, by the way, you lost all this extra money. So now it evens out. And that's what sucked about it was a huge positive for the viewers. For months, people had tier 3 subs and everything. But then after all the YouTube shit happened, it negated any positive impact that happened. And I'm like, now I'm back to square one, and I'm back to, all the bandages are breaking again, and I'm going to drown. And that's basically what happened to me. It sucks. It really sucks. It absolutely really sucks because there's nothing I can do about it at this point. And what I'm going to talk about in basically the next segment of this podcast, all right, what I'm going to talk about is the stuff that you guys don't know, the stuff that I didn't really publicly talk about at all, so that you guys know exactly what's going on with me, behind the scenes, why I'm in the situation I'm in, and telling you about what's going on. Because already there's been tons of misinformation and stupidity about it on the internet, and I'd rather that you hear the truth from the horse's mouth rather than from assholes who are just getting horse shit and trying to spin it in ways that it's not true, so you know exactly what's going on, and we can get it all in the clear. All right? Now, we're going to do that in the next segment. Right now, what we're going to do is do some shout-outs, and then we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and do that segment of the show. Okay? So, a few shout-outs here, because a lot of contributions actually came in here. Let's see here. All right, so PW Dubs tipped me $1 and said, how'd you and Cat meet? Is she a fan of yours? Maybe one day we will reveal the story of how we met and how all that came about. Right now, we're not going to. It's not anyone's information. Already there's been people who have completely fabricated shit, and we're just not going to publicly discuss that until we're ready, and now is not the time, okay? Third cheer, he says, if you did do a house tour, and of course, some would look up how much new stuff it would become new meme that you could seize and use for yourself and profit off of with emotes and stuff. You'd be the only one on Twitch with a gold diamond encrusted microwave. Or it would just be a bunch of fucking annoying stress for me and I don't need it. Nimrod tipped me $1, says, please don't ban me. I was wrongly banned for expressing my opinion. Nimrod, I have no idea what you're talking about, and tipping me is not the way to get unbanned. You got to email me at darksidephil@hotmail.com and I can look into it later. Okay? Last Rambo did a 100-bit cheer. He says there needs to be a solution for companies to resist troll messages. I wish there were, because the truth of the matter is, as I keep telling people, we really are still in kind of the wild, wild west of everything when it comes to the internet and it comes to internet culture, internet business, and we're at a point where companies are now adopting social media as a critical strategy in the way that they market their products, and they adapt to appealing to new audiences like the younger generation. So if you're trying to appeal to that, and then your social media gets spammed with toxic shit for 2, 3, 4 straight days after I play a game or I do a plug to your product, obviously you don't want me as your sponsor. I agree with you. There should be a way to avoid that. There isn't. It's basically everyone just kind of jumped in head first into this internet existence without any safeguards. Are there laws against defamation? Absolutely. There 100%, there's laws against everything that happens to me. I'm not even kidding you. If you look up United States law, you'll see that 9 times out of 10, with these people that are making these disgusting videos and streams about me, what they're doing is actually illegal. And if I were to sue them, They would have to shut down, YouTube would have to shut down their crap, and I would actually win damages from any concrete hurt that could be proven that they lied or they even exaggerated about what they were saying about me. It would be considered defamatory, and I could actually sue them and win. But look how easy it is to do it, and no one can really do it. Who has money in the modern era? I'm not a giant company with a bunch of money and a law team that can go to work and shut this shit down. And everyone knows that, and that's the thing. That's why the toxic culture of the internet exists, because everyone jumped into the culture of the internet, but none of the safeguards were put in place. In real life, outside of the internet, if someone slanders you or defames you constantly in a public setting, you could be arrested, you could immediately be sued, like all that could happen. But online, it seems like everyone's safe, right? So it's the same thing with these sponsorship opportunities. Companies have zero defense against any of this crap right now, right? It certainly would be nice if there was a way to fix it, but there's no way to fix it right now, okay? Third Eye the Third cheered again. He said, I've seen detractor streamers get sponsored with free games. It's baffling. Literally evil people are approached and promoted, but the victim is disregarded like trash. What is the world coming to? Because the sponsor doesn't even look at that. The sponsor looks at, oh, here's someone who has a viewership and they have a social media following and they're not constantly attacked by toxic people. Okay, that's give them the game, right? Versus someone like me, oh my God, he has a following, his streams are positive. Oh wait, he gets attacked on social media constantly. Fuck it, we can't give him the game. It's stupid. But the truth of the matter is, I don't look into getting free games anyway. I haven't in years. So I don't really care in that regard anyway. But you're right. Like these companies are really ass backwards in that regard. It just makes no fucking sense. If they actually knew the content that the person they were giving the sponsorship opportunity made, they probably wouldn't do it. But they don't look that deep into it because they're idiots. I don't know what else to say. The Brick Boy 103. So resubscribe to the channel for 5 months. Thank you, Brick Boy. Good Game Goblin tipped me $1. Says, forget about the detractors. Let's just chill and play some Magic the Gathering. I'll start off by playing a red land, and then you tap... What? You tap that to play a fanatical firebrand who attacks you for 1 damage. Your turn, bro. Wow, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about there, but thank you for the $1 tip. I've never played Magic. Honest Fan Cheers says, just show us the elephant then, Phil. See, now here's the thing. There's no elephant. That's the point I'm telling you, Honest Fan. In my analogy about, oh, the elephant that's eating all the food in the house, there's no elephant. There's nothing to show you. So I can't prove or disprove because what they're saying is happening doesn't exist. It literally is the pink elephant. There's no pink elephant. But I can't show you a pink elephant because it doesn't exist. So there's nothing I can do to defend myself. And when I try to defend myself, it just balloons worse because people then latch onto other shit to make more negative. See? Last Rambo cheered. He says, speaking of not vlogging your life or outings, is it because it has been used against you, such as your hotel stays, your car, and other purchases? I mean, yeah, can you imagine if when I went to Connecticut in 2019 that we had vlogged and uploaded everything live? I'm no exaggeration. Within one day, people would have found out the hotel we were staying at. They would have found out everything about where we were. They would have been prank calling the hotel, sending fucking food that we didn't order. They would have been harassing my family during the wedding. It would have been a fucking nightmare. Just because they can. Not because they get any personal gain out of doing these fucked up things, just because they can do it. And they can succeed at it and get away with it. All that shit would have happened. So that's why, I mean, are you crazy? I can't do that stuff anymore. Seriously, I can't vlog. I can't do any of that shit anymore because these people shut it down. It's not my choice. They shut it down with the way that they were doing that stuff. Okay? Okay. Gorilla T tipped me $20. Wow, thank you very much, Gorilla T. He says, Phil, I've been watching you since the Cooking with the King days. Keep your head up, man. You do a good job. F the trolls. All right, thank you, Gorilla T. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, thank you. Now here's a stupid one. Snooty Rude did a 100-bit cheer, but could you just log into your WWE game account and hold your phone up to the camera and disprove detractors? Oh my God. Boy, people don't listen, but this is the thing. Real gullible, stupid, simple-minded people think it's that easy. Let's say right now, all right, first of all, I logged into my old-ass game account from WWE Supercard from years ago that I've admitted that's a game that I played a lot for about 2 years. And I held it up to the camera, all right? It wouldn't matter what it showed. It literally wouldn't matter what it showed. They would find a way to spin that into a negative. That would be a negative, okay? Now, that's the thing. At this point, I can't even figure out what the meme is because people now tell me it could be this one WWE game that I played years ago, or a WWE game that I played for a few months, a couple of years ago. I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about anymore, because I don't follow the shit, and I'm so confused in my head. This guy says Supercard, someone else says it's another game. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about anymore, because even you idiots can't get your shit straight, so I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't care. I'm not going to waste fucking time holding phones up and showing you shit. You're out of your fucking mind. In addition, like I said, chances are, what would happen? I hold it up. Oh, God, there was something on the screen now that's more personal information that got out that they can use against me. Fuck this. And fuck you for even bringing that shit up. How about that? All right. Internet famous McCroy cheered and said, a lot of people have internet trolls. You have to investigate. You have investigative tabloid journalists. Find out how much Darkside-filled coffee maker cost. Is Jasper pregnant? Find out why Phil won't weigh his cat live on camera on TMZ. You're right. And that's how fucked up it is. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit about that in the next segment, about how fucked up some of this stuff is. Wait till you hear it, okay? Because you won't believe some of this shit. Mr. Merritt resub for 2 months, and no one can stop this, man. Thank you, Mr. Merritt, for a 2-month resub. Piss Bottle Enthusiast tipped me $1 and says, that's a tough pill to swallow. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but thank you for the $1 tip. Good Lord. PW Dubs tipped me $1, says, how long do you estimate your break to be so I can come back and listen? Probably about 10 minutes. I'm just going to go see what Cat's up to and, you know, maybe get a quick snack or something. It's not going to be a super long break. This is not going to be like a gaming stream where I take like a 25-minute break or anything like that, okay? Third Eye the Third cheered again. The problem is things will never change because conspiracy theorists don't change. You say you change and that you're a more honest person, but people will just counter that with, oh, he's just concealing more things. He's learned how to lie even better. You can't win the fight. Just stay true to yourself, and hopefully they'll lose interest. That actually is a very nice comment. Thank you, Third Eye. I like that one, and I appreciate that one. Good Game Goblin tipped me $1. Said, now, wait a minute. No one said anything about a pink elephant. Now we're going to expose the elephant that you keep in your room. Just Jasper, get along with your elephant. Thank you very much, Good Game Goblin, for the $1 tip. Okay. Let's see here. Spedgy did a 100-bit cheer. He says, I just saw a video on YouTube. You have a pet elephant, and this is where all your money goes. Is this true? There you go. It's coming. I guarantee you, the elephant videos are coming. Junior Mint did a 100-bit cheer. See, here you go. They're saying you spent $140,000 on a wrestling mobile game. $140,000. What the fuck? The best part about this is that when they started, it was like 3 or 4 days ago, and it was like $10,000. Then people started saying 20, then 40. Now it's apparently $140,000. X Duck Caliber did an 11-month resub. Thank you very much, X Duck Caliber, for 11 months resub. I appreciate that. And that douche kid did 100-bit cheers. All you got to do is show your username is, and bam, the detractors are defeated and make them even less credible. Wrong. Wrong. Okay. I'm going to say one quick thing about this, and then we're going to take a break, and we're going to move on to the next segment. As I said, any little bit of information that I give you guys will be used against me. Perfect example here. Let's say I bring up a mobile game, and I show you my name in the game. That name that's in the game, people will immediately scour the fucking internet for anywhere that name's been used, try to find old accounts of mine, try to find other things that maybe could or could not be me because of that name. The truth of the matter is that when I play mobile games, a lot of the times I don't use my real name or my online personas. Reason being, I did do that a while ago, and people then were doing stuff to me. I never talk about this because I know it's fucked up. There were 2 times with previous mobile games, way back when I was playing them, that people tried to hack the accounts. People tried to pretend that they were me. They impersonated me and actually were contacting like the customer support of the companies saying, oh, I'm Darkside Phil, and here's my information, and I want control of this account. And one time I actually got locked out of my account because of it, okay? So the last thing I would ever want to do is show you any information about any account that I've ever used ever, all right? A few years ago, an old password of mine that I used to use for very old things leaked on the internet. People went across the entire internet and found all this shit out. They started logging into my old utility accounts and tried to shut off my power. They tried to send a $2,000 payment to my city here that I didn't owe them just to empty my bank account and fuck me over financially just because they found an old password somewhere that happened to be attached to a few legacy accounts that I hadn't used in years. Now, if I show you a login that I've used in a mobile game that has been used for other things, people will immediately scour the internet to find. See what I mean? This is what happens. It's just the slippery slope that creates more and more and more negative shit. There's no point in me trying to disprove anything these dickheads say because none of it's true and they have no fucking concrete evidence of any of it because it's false. So why would I waste my fucking time on any of it? If you get caught up in that stupid, immature crap, you need to look yourself in the mirror and be like, why the fuck do I care about any of this shit? Why am I believing every month or every week there's a new thing about Phil that's completely ludicrous? Why the fuck am I believing all of this? Why am I such a drama hound person who gets caught up in this fucking nonsense? And why do I even find it funny? You know, maybe the first few times, but the 102nd time that you hear something ludicrous about me, you have to finally look and say, maybe there's something wrong here and maybe I'm an idiot that I believe all this dumb fuck shit. And like I said, I can't spend time worrying about any of this shit. It's not true. I'm not going to waste my fucking time on any of it. To show you one thing will just spurn 10 more negative things about me. There's no fucking point in any of it. And people who are all infatuated with that shit need fucking help. Okay? All right. Clowner tipped me $1 and insulted me. So there you go. I'm just going to ignore that. Last Rambo cheered. He says, we've now found you out. You have an elephant. It's Jasper. Use spells and ingredients you spent your tips on. Oh my god. Spedgy did a 100-bit cheer and says, are you going to be playing Final Fantasy VII Remake at launch? Yes. Are you playing Kakarot tonight? No, I'm playing it tomorrow as my main gameplay stream. Oh, here we go. Dark Side Phil tipped me $5, says, let's keep the weird shit going. Whatever happened to fans living in your walls? Yes, didn't you know that fans live in the walls of my house too? That's oh my god. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let us take a break. All right. We'll take about, like I said, roughly 10-minute break, maybe a couple more. We'll see. Shorter break on the stream. If you're watching live on YouTube, part 2 will be a whole separate part. But when we come back, what I'm going to basically talk about is some of the stuff that's private stuff that's been going on with me that I feel I need to publicly discuss now. To kind of stick it in the butt, stop the crap and the rumors from happening so you guys know what's happening with me. That'll be the second segment. The third segment on my stream is going to be positive stuff, ideas for 2020, the game schedule for 2020, and opening it up to Q&A. But let's take a break for now, and when we come back, we'll continue on. Okay, guys? All right, I'll see you in a few minutes.